Hey, what's up guys? My name is Jedith. I am probably in Japan as you're watching this, but I have a useful video for you today because this is a video that a lot of people have been requesting, and I was a little reluctant and hesitant to make it because there wasn't really a good reason for me to make this video and for me to actually, promote playing this build. But I feel like we're at a point now in the expansion where people are just tired of momentum, right? We're getting wrist pain from fell rushing every 5 seconds. We're just mentally drained, and we're forced to deal with dungeons like the one I'm standing in front of now, Vortex Pinnacle, where it's just not easy, it's not efficient, and it's just honestly just frustrating trying to fell rush and play around momentum and having to eventual retreat in there. You have probably seen clips or videos of the first boss in this dungeon that is just an absolute nightmare, where there's nowhere to go. You can't fell rush, you can't do anything. We're just going to do less damage if that's the case, right? So we need to adapt. We need to start changing things, and this is what I've been running for this dungeon in particular. I wouldn't recommend, using this build in other situations, in raid. I mean, you can do whatever you want, right? If you can use this build and actually perform well on it, if it means you're not going to die, in that case, go ahead and use it. But ideally, if you're trying to do the most damage possible and you aren't going to die, then you should play momentum. But if you struggle and you're just tired of playing the momentum game, then this is for you. So this is the no mover build, and I'm going to show you the cheat sheet that I made for this. If you haven't seen my previous cheat sheets for all the other builds, we had one for the throw glaive build, we had one for the basic single target raid build. This is the second season that I've done this, so I decided to make one for the no mover build. So let me pull it up, and here it is. I'll make it a little bit smaller. So on this cheat sheet, you will see the talents, the talent trees. This is it. It's very, very simple. It's very simple. Just like all the other builds, the essence break window is still the most important. That's kind of what this build revolves around, right? The only difference is you're not going to be vengeful retreating because we don't have initiative. We don't have tactical retreat. As you can see, we don't have momentum. We don't have unbound chaos. We don't have any of that. So you're planting and you're blasting. This is kind of your priority here, right? Essence break window is the most important. So you're going to start off by using throw glaive to apply the serrated glaive debuff, because we're taking that, right? Paired with our 4-piece, we want to bolster our I-beams as much as we can. So we're going to be taking serrated glaive. So as soon as you start combat, you're going to be throwing your glaive to apply the serrated glaive debuff. Immediately after, you're going to I-beam to enter demonic. From there, you're going to essence break. Now, normally this is where you would vengeful retreat and essence break, right? We're not doing that here. It might be a hard habit to break. Trust me, I found myself being in dungeons and still vengeful retreating when I essence break at the same time. It takes a little bit to get used to, but you do not have to do that here unless you are actually like dodging something. If you want to press it, you can. But for the rotation purposes, you just essence break while you're standing still. And then inside of that essence break window, the same priority is there for what you should be pressing. It's the same as the other builds. Death sweep comes first, especially because we have first blood. After the buffs that we got last week or this week, whenever you're watching this, death sweep just does insane damage. So that's going to be your top priority inside of your essence break window. And then from there, you're just filling with annihilations. Again, something that got buffed in the previous tuning pass. And from there, you're just spending fury to stay in demonic, because we have cycle of hatred and shattered destiny. So the more fury you spend, the more you are reducing your cooldown on I-beam. The more I-beams you can blast out, the longer you're staying in demonic. And of course, with Shattered Destiny, the more fury you spend, it increases your time in demonic as well. And then the other thing to remember is just make sure you're applying the serrated glaive debuff with throw glaive before your I-beams. You always want to make sure that buff is on the mob when you press I-beam, because you want to get that extra damage. That's pretty much it. Everything else is the same. You do have a lot of fury generation with this build. As you can see, we have demonic appetite up here on the left. We also have burning hatred. We have 2 points to blind fury, and we have isolated prey. Now here's where things get a little weird, right? We have isolated prey. and you can see in the bottom right corner, my little tip here is Fel Rush generates Fury with Isolated Prey. So you might be freaking out right now. You're like, oh, I thought this was the no mover build. Why am I being told to Fel Rush? You don't have to Fel Rush for Fury with this build. It's not 100% necessary because we have so many, Fury generating talents. We have these two up here and Blind Fury. But we're mostly taking it for the extra I-beam damage. And that's going to be the real advantage of taking this. Remember, it does only work in pure single target too. So when you're in Mythic Plus, it's not very often that you're fighting just one singular mob. Oftentimes, you're fighting trash packs with a couple mobs, or you might be fighting a boss, which is one target. But as I stated, the first boss in Vortex Pinnacle doesn't matter if it's one boss or one mob. You ain't Fel Rushing in there. There's no way. So you can just kind of forget about that, right? The main benefit of this is the I-beam damage. But if there are opportunities for you to Fel Rush and you feel safe enough to do so, you can definitely do that and just get a little extra Fury with your Fel Rushes. One of the other benefits of this build is that we do have a much easier access to Netherwalk and Fel Eruption. So all you need to do is drop Looks Can Kill, and you can put your point into either Netherwalk or Fel Eruption, which is awesome. Dropping Looks Can Kill isn't that much of a DPS loss. It's very minimal, and you have very quick access to either of these talents. The other thing you can consider doing if you find yourself kind of overflowing with Fury, because we do have a lot of Fury generating talents here. We also have our 4-piece, which gives us some Fury. You could consider dropping Burning Hatred and putting this point somewhere else. I'll leave that up to you to experiment with, but for this purpose, we're just going to keep it in Burning Hatred. Other than that, the stat priority is Crit, Haste, Mastery. So Haste takes priority here over Mastery because we are playing Cycle of Hatred and Shattered Destiny. So this is a lot like the old BFA version of Havoc, where we're very high haste and we're just using as many annihilations and death sweeps as we can. The good thing about this is we also have Inner Demon too. So this is increasing our cleave potential with one of our pure single target abilities. So in your gameplay and your rotation, you always want to remember that after you I-beam, you're getting an Inner Demon charge. So you want to make sure you're spending those appropriately. And that's pretty much it, guys. This is a super basic and easy build to play. My thought process here is that going into a dungeon like Vortex Pinnacle, if it means you surviving, you're going to do more damage alive than you are dead, right? And because a build like the Throwglaive Momentum build just, is based so heavily on movement, in a dungeon where movement is just so prohibited, I think it only makes sense to sacrifice a little bit of damage on the sims for better gameplay on your end, meaning that you can actually survive and probably make up the damage that you'd be losing by not Fel Rushing with the Throwglaive build. So I'm kind of talking in circles here, but you get what I'm trying to say. So this is the cheat sheet. This is going to be available in my Discord along with the import code, so you can very easily get this build for yourself, import it right into your talent window here, and you'll be all set. So that is in my Discord. The link to the Discord is in the description of this video. What I will do real quick is just go over the opener for you. I probably don't need to, but you guys love asking about openers and seeing breakdowns, so we'll go over it real quick. It's very, very simple. You're going to start with a Sigil of Flame, and then while Sigil of Flame is ticking, in those 2 seconds, you're going to Potion and Immolation Aura. And then you can use the Hunt to get in if you're at range from a raid boss or whatever. And then immediately after that, you're going to throw Glaive to apply Serrated Glaive on the mob. And then you're going to I-beam. Right after you I-beam, you want to use Annihilation to spend your Inner Demon proc. And then you're going to Essence Break. After you Essence Break, you're going to Death Sweep, and then Meta, and then Death Sweep, and then Annihilation. And that's it. So I'll do it for you real quick here. I will throw down the Sigil, Immolation Aura, charge in, throw Glaive, I-beam, spend Inner Demon, Essence Break, Death Sweep, You could spend that as well because you are getting a Chaos Theory proc, and then there you go. That's it. Then you just, you know, play as you would normally. Spend your death sweeps, spend your annihilations. That's it. Super simple. You don't have to Fel Rush around, you don't have to Vengeful Retreat. You can keep your eyes immediately under your character. Just watch for swirlies and not die. So that's it. If you guys like this video, give it a like. Make sure you sub to this YouTube channel for more Havoc Demon Hunter content. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.